Hi guys, hi everyone. You're welcome back to my channel. So much drama. Hi guys, hi everyone. You're welcome back to my channel. If you haven't seen this beautiful face before, my name is Hilary and I'm glad you stopped by. Please consider subscribing to this wonderful family. And if you are a returning subscriber, my god, I love you. Thank you so much for always coming back. Okay, guys, I'm going to be sharing 5 podcasts that I listen to and I feel like you guys should listen to as well. In no particular order, the first one I'm going to be talking about is I Like Girls. So, like the title says, she likes girls. Hosted by Aisha Salauddin. Podcast is produced by 27 Productions. It is a podcast centered around African women and the struggles African women face just by being women. She talks to girls from different countries in Africa and ventures their stories, and it's always very interesting to see what these people are facing just because they are women. One of my favorite episodes was the one that she hosted a girl. She's a girl from Edo State, from Benin City, where I come from, and it was a story of how she struggled with sexual abuse while she was young, how it affected her, got her into depression. So things like that, you just hear real life stories that you can relate to. It's just really interesting to hear what people are going through just because of their gender. And I really like it because when you're listening to it, it feels like you're watching a TV show. It is very, very interesting and very engaging to the ears. She finds a way to make it a story as one. So it's like, when you're listening to it, you're actually visualizing it in your head. So it makes it very interesting for me. So I like girls. Next one I'm going to talk about is How Far with Semi Otedola and Mr. Easy. I feel like a lot of people enjoy this podcast just because it feels like you are listening to them actually answer the question, how far? Like, when you ask somebody how far, they'll answer now, oh, this is what's been going on, da 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 da. It just feels like a conversation between two friends and we are just eavesdropping into their conversation. So it's interesting to listen to, what they have been doing behind the scenes in their very mysterious lives. Trends, things that are happening. They touch on things that are happening currently. The third one I'm going to be talking about is Tea with Tay with Temi San. Temi San is a social media influencer, actor, that whole shebang, model, just Instagram body, hot boy. But him starting that podcast has made me know him a lot better. On Instagram, I don't know if you guys used to see, he does this thing where he sips tea from a mug and he just talk about something maybe that's on his mind. So I feel that's where the idea of the podcast came from. I don't know, from my own perspective.
Good morning, Instagrammers. What's with this pressure to settle down by 30 when you're getting to 30? She don't reach 30 years old and she never bring man come out. So
what I love about the podcast is the fact that he brings guests onto his shows and he brings celebrities. He has brought Mike, he has brought Davido, he has brought Mercy AK, he has brought Coco by Chloe, he has brought DSF. I think Miss DSF was the first episode I listened to because I'm a huge fan of DSF. So when I saw her on the podcast, I was like, okay, let's listen to this. And it was very insightful. You see these people online and you don't really know too much, but this podcast helped me to still know a little bit. I mean, I know I like Afia. Yeah, that's the basis of this whole thing. The episode with James Brown, when I listened to that episode, I was like, wow. You learn from their hustle. They talk about their story, how they started to where they are right now. There's a way he stirs up this conversation and they just are free to lay it all on the podcast. Yeah, so that's why I love TVT podcast. The next one I'm going to be talking about is On Purpose with Jay Shetty. I hope I'm saying it right. I listen to this podcast on days where I just feel like I need some sort of motivation. He tackles different topics, how to handle anxiety, how to build confidence, and he gives practical advice, not just one motivation. I mean, if you listen to it, it obviously sounds like all this motivational talk, but if you really take it in, you realize that he's giving real valuable tips and they are quite helpful. And the last, and definitely not the least, I believe that everybody, if you listen to podcasts in this Nigeria, you will know this podcast. I'm sorry, I had to save it for the last. I don't even know how we got to the last, but I said what I said. I think this was the first podcast I started listening to when I started falling in love with podcasts, because it was just everywhere. Like, it was everywhere. I said what I said. Like, okay, what are these people saying? Do you get? Like, okay, I let people go and hear what people are saying that they said. You get? But when I started listening to it, I was like, okay, interesting. It's hosted by FK. Jola and FK. Yeah, it's hosted by Jola and FK. Produced by Aircon Digital, the same people that produce Tea with Tay podcast. Production is always very crisp, clear, clean, keeping it spicy, fresh, just like all these podcasts I've listed here. This is a conversational podcast, and they also invite guests to talk about real life situations. I love this podcast because they are very fun and lively individuals. They are very, very sarcastic, and they also host this agony aunt episode where young Nigerians like you and I send in our situationships, our dilemmas to them, and they seek advice. I've sent in a dilemma once before. I was just praying that please don't say it, please don't, and they didn't actually say it. You could also send yours there, if you are in a situation that you don't really know what to do, but deep down you know what you're supposed to do, but like you need somebody to echo it. You can send it there, they'll help you. They'll give you solutions for your problem. Don't worry. It's always very interesting to see what people are going through, and they send it anonymously. It's very hilarious names. So yeah, that's all for my top 5, but I'm open to more. So I would like you guys to recommend podcasts that you listen to that are not among my top 5 lists. I'd love you guys to put them in the comment section. Thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Yeah, subscribe if you aren't. I'll see you guys in my next video.